Dwayne Haskins. This is a little bit of a Mike sit at first because Dwayne Haskins' toxicology report came out. It's not good. Because I want to preface my comments by saying it's not fair that someone had to die. I was wishing the best for Dwayne Haskins moving forward. But I also want to say, apparently, he was not just working out with teammates in Florida, because that was the whole narrative around this was, just unfortunate. He was cleaning himself up. Well, apparently he wasn't. Let's be 100% honest, he was not. This is not to, throw dirt on a grave over here, but this is to say there was a wide majority of fans who called out a man named Gil Brandt, a former Cowboys player, who goes on SiriusXM and is a talking head now. Well, he said he was living to die. And on the surface, that sounds terrible. And maybe it was bad timing. And it's still, to this point, it was probably bad timing. But Gil Brandt, apparently was correct. He was not fixing his life up because he had just gone to a club, was driving intoxicated, may have had some drugs he was using recreationally in his system, and then walks in front of a highway when you could have just been a sober person would have walked on the side of the road. The point is with this for me is not to harp more crap on Haskins, but really just say, stop assuming your idols and your stars that you love are some world-class human beings, because chances are they may not be. Just like in music with R. Kelly, the fact that people still try to defend R. Kelly is just sickening to me. Or Bill Cosby in comedy, who never told a dirty joke. Or Deshaun Watson in the NFL. Or Dwayne Haskins. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of people defending these people as if they are some model citizens, and sometimes they may not be. You don't know them. Don't act like you do. Sammy?
Yeah, I mean, the toxicology report obviously comes out, and it puts a little bit of a negative glare on Haskins' activities the night of his death. And, look, I'm not going to vilify someone for going out and partying. These are young guys with money who are in Miami Beach. I mean, who hasn't gone out in Miami to a club, had some drinks, made some bad decisions, and he paid the ultimate penalty with his bad decisions. So I mean, I'm not gonna vilify him or anybody else. But you're spot on. These are not heroes, and I think many athletes in the past have come out and said that exact same thing. We're not heroes. They're athletes. They're men. They're grown ups. They make mistakes. They live their life they want to live, and those lives don't necessarily agree with the morals and assessments of everybody else. It's unfortunate what happened to Dwayne Haskins, and it's also unfortunate what happened to Mr. Brandt. Any of the hatred he got for having an opinion that was unpopular at the time that may be a little bit more correct now. I think your point is pretty spot on in that. It's a sad situation. We should remember these are human beings, and they don't always do the decisions that we think are the best. Unfortunate for Dwayne, it was a pretty pricey one.
The sad thing is that Dwayne Haskins lived in the spotlight because he's an NFL player.
Yeah.
And I understand that there are many people who make the exact, if not worse, decisions that will still chirp off on Twitter. But for me, wishing death on like Gil Brandt, who's already like 80 years old, was just like these people that they I don't understand like why they can't disconnect their feelings from stuff like that. Like, I get people were emotional, but again, you don't know the guy, so why are you that emotional to wish death on somebody else? Because their comment it may look more right now, but it doesn't mean it was still not poorly timed. Like immediately after he died, I told you. Nah, I get that part, but still doesn't mean he's a horrible human being. And Gil Brandt should be canceled, as the kids like to call it.
Yeah, I mean, in this day and age, I mean, we have gone away from people just being able to have an opinion, even an unpopular one, without receiving some form of death threat or some vilification on social media. All these social media warriors and champions come out and want to puff out their chest to make themselves look all big and strong in the moment. But at the end of the day, I mean, we should be able to discuss our opinions openly and have a a decent, civilized conversation, even if you don't agree with that person's opinion. Gil Brandt's opinion at the time was not something I thought was very kind. I didn't think it was necessary. I thought it was a little bit trampling, but it's still his opinion. He's entitled to it. And if he wants to have a discussion about it, people should be willing to have a discussion.
Yeah. Say, hey, it's almost like people were saying that he wished death on the guy. I don't think he wished death. I think he just realized, hey, people have tried to help this guy, and some people just can't be helped, which I get.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that there is quote unquote people to help. I mean, he was a married man. His wife obviously, had to have a bigger role in quote unquote helping him. But at the end of the day, we're adults, right? We have to help ourselves. We have to make decisions that are best for us. And he didn't make a decision that worked out well for him. It's his own fault. I don't know that anybody else deserves any blame here. And unfortunately, the toxicology spotlights that, which him being a football player is why we even have a toxicology report here. Because if he was Joe Blow from down the street and this happened to him, we wouldn't have a toxicology report.
Yeah. But I do want to say rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins. It still sucks that I will not be able to continue my Daniel Jones Dwayne Haskins debate because it's unfair at this point. But it was cool to see that he had another opportunity to be on a team, and it really stinks that he had to die. And that's all I'm going to leave it at.
Yeah, definitely rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins. I hope other young athletes can learn from his mistakes. Is the only thing I can take away from